Good morning. We will start meeting in a few minutes. Good morning again. Once again, I would like to postpone to start the meeting in 5 minutes later. Thank you. We will start the meeting. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen from physical and virtual meeting. Good morning and warmly welcome all distinguished participants to the focus group discussions on plans, policies for electric vehicle in ASEAN member states. Under the project strategy integration of electric vehicle into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap. My name is Vientiane Pimpan, Technical Staff of Biomass Promotion Division, Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotion, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR. It is my great honorable and privilege to be served as a master ceremony for today. Since we are having the focus group discussions on plans and policies for electric vehicle in ASEAN member states, under the project strategy integration of electric vehicle into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap, we would like to inform you that the physical and virtual protocol as the following. Participants should ensure a convenient environment and reduce background noise, such as turn off cell phone and etc. 2. Participants should mute their microphone and only unmute if they wish to present or speak. 3. Participants should only turn on their video camera when presenting or making an intervention, as turn on the video may impact the quality of the connection and voice quality. 4. For Q&A sections, those who wish to ask or speak may use the chat room by typing their country and name and send it to everyone. The moderator will acknowledge the request to speak and determine the speaking order. Once the moderator acknowledges, they may turn on the video. Only unmute the microphone once you are calling by the moderator to speak. To start this meeting, I would like to proceed by opening remarks from Deputy Director General, Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotion, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR, from Executive Director, National Energy Technology Center, NTEC, Thailand, from Senior Manager of ASEAN Center for Energy. To officially welcome all distinguished participants, may I now invite Mr. Kamman Sopasert, Deputy Director General, Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotion, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR, to deliver an opening remark, please.
Thank you, Ms. MC. Excellency Dr. Sumitra Jarod Rojkun, Executive Director, National Energy Technology Center, NTEC, Thailand. Mr. Christopher Zamora, Senior Manager of ASEAN Center for Energy. Distinguished guest speaker, ASEAN member state, Fukumpai, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR, I warmly welcome all participants to this important event of focus group discussion on plan and policy for electric vehicle in ASEAN member states. I thank you for own excellency, distinguished guests and experts who have joined also with us to share their expertise and experience on electric vehicle integration. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Lao PDR has population of about 7 million people, and the country's economy has been growing at steady pace over the last decade. Like many other countries in ASEAN region, Lao PDR is facing several energy-related challenges, such as high dependence on import fossil fuel and the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. To address this challenge, Lao PDR has been actively promoting the use of renewable energy sources, including hydropower, solar, and wind. Moreover, in recent years, we have also started to see the growing interest in electric vehicles in our country. In Lao PDR, the development of electric vehicle is still in the early stage, but we believe that this is great potential for this technology to help us achieve our energy and climate goal. For example, electric vehicle can help reduce our dependence on imported fossil fuel, improve air quality in our city, and lower our greenhouse gas emission. We are pleased to note that Lao PDR is taking steps to encourage the use of electric vehicles. The government has implemented several initiatives to support the development and deployment of electric vehicles in the country, including tax incentive and subsidy for electric vehicle users. However, we also recognize that there are several challenges that need to be addressed in order to accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles in Lao PDR. The challenge include the high upfront cost of electric vehicle, limit charging infrastructure, and lack of public awareness about the benefit of electric vehicle. Therefore, we believe that this focus group discussion is a timely and important opportunity for us to come together as a region to discuss plan and policy for electric vehicle. By sharing our experience and best practice, we can learn from each other and identify strategy to overcome the challenge we face. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN as a community of nations, we share a common goal of promoting sustainable development and addressing the challenge of climate change. I hope by together acting upon this important agenda, we could achieve our regional renewable energy goal of having 23% share in energy mix 2025, as well as reducing energy intensity by 32% in the same year based on 2005 level. I am confident by this working together and supporting each other, we can make a real difference in the transition to a more sustainable and low carbon future. Thank you once again and look forward to productive and fruitful discussion ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaman Sopasert, for warming opening remarks. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sumita Jalok Lokun, Executive Director, National Energy Technology Center, NTEC, Thailand, to deliver an opening remarks from online. Thank you.
สบายดี Mr. Kaman Sopraser, Deputy Director General of Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotion, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR, Mr. Asdiram Abdulrazib, Senior Undersecretary for Sustainable Energy of Ministry Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change Malaysia, RESSN Chair, Dr. Nuki Akya Uttama, Executive Director of ASEAN Center for Energy, or AS. Distinguished speakers and participants, good morning. On behalf of the National Energy Technology Center, or NTEC, under National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, NASDA Thailand, the lead organization of this project, it is my honor to give the opening remarks of the focus group discussion on plan and policies for electric vehicle in ASEAN member states under the project Strategic Integration of Electric Vehicle into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap. Please allow me to briefly introduce the background and an overview of this project. In the year 2019, the project started with the MOU between NASDA and ACE to support higher utilization of biofuel in ASEAN, especially in transportation sector, which is one of the major contributors to the regional energy consumption. With limitation in biofuel blending and also increasing trend of electric vehicle or EV in the region, this project aims to strategically integrate EV into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap through policy and technical consultation. It will provide information on current electric vehicle landscape in ASEAN, strategic integration of biofuel and electricity for transportation sector, and action plan on EV strategic integration. In the preceding project, we conducted two online focus group discussion, or FGD, on July 29th in the year 2020 and August 30th, 2021 respectively, to circulate questionnaire to RESSN representative to identify key success factors for biofuel and then extract technology readiness level, or TRL, of biofuel-related technologies to formulate the ASEAN Biofuel R&D roadmap. This project has collected information on current electric vehicle landscape in ASEAN based on secondary data and uploaded online via Power BI platform, which is available to all relevant stakeholders. Building upon this, the objective of this FGD is to, number one, present the EV information of AMS on Power BI platform, which is on the NTEC's website. Number two, validate existing information based on the discussion with representatives from AMS. And number three, engage the focal points to participate and discuss about policy actions in order to strategically promote and balance the use of EV and biofuel. Last but not least, NTEC would like to express our gratitude to all partners, especially our project partner, ASEAN Center for Energy, or ACE, for their kind support in organizing this focal group discussion. I hope that all participants will benefit from this discussion and enjoy their stay in Vientiane. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sumita, for your comprehensive opening remarks. And next, may I would like Mr. Christopher Tisamorat, Senior Manager of ASEAN Center for Energy to deliver an opening remark, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. MC. Excellencies, Mr. Kaman Soprashort, the Deputy Director General from the Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotion of the Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR. Dr. Sumitra Charukul, the Executive Director from the National Energy Technology Center, or NTEC, Thailand. Dr. Nuwong Chulakup, the Director of Low Carbon Energy Research Group, also from INTEC, Thailand. Mr. Muhammad Irwan Misran, the Deputy Undersecretary for Renewable Energy, Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, Malaysia, on behalf of the Chair of the Renewable Energy Subsector Network, distinguished ASEAN member states focal points, representative from the ASEAN Secretariat, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all of you. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the focus group discussion on plans and policies for electric vehicles in ASEAN member states. We express our sincerest thanks and appreciation to Lao People's Democratic Republic for hosting this event and to all the honorable participants joining us today. As we all know, ASEAN is home to over 600 million people with a combined GDP of over 7 trillion US dollars and with energy consumption of over 400 million tons of oil equivalent. To achieve a sustainable and low-carbon future, it is imperative that we explore the potential of emerging technologies in the energy sector, such as electric vehicles. Under the project Strategic Integration of Electric Vehicles into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap, the ASEAN Center for Energy and the National Science and Technology Development Agency, NSTDA, are working tirelessly to develop plans and policies that support the integration of EVs into the ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap, and today's focus group discussion is a crucial part of that effort. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, over the next few hours, we will have the opportunity to hear from experts and practitioners who are working at the forefront of the EV transition, as well as from representatives from government, industry, and civil society who are grappling with the challenges and opportunities about this emerging technology. Together, we will explore policy options, best practices, and collaborate to create a more sustainable and resilient future for the ASEAN region. Your participation in today's discussion is crucial as your insights, experiences, and perspectives will help shape the future of transportation in the ASEAN region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, finally, I want to take this opportunity to thank once again all the speakers and participants for taking the time to join us today, and to our partners for their invaluable support. Let us approach this discussion with the utmost professionalism and engage in a meaningful dialogue that will lead to concrete recommendations and actions. I am confident that together we can create a more sustainable and prosperous future for the ASEAN region. Thank you and have a productive discussion ahead. This opening remarks is delivered for and on behalf of Dr. Nuki Agya-Utama, the Executive Director of the ASEAN Center for Energy. Thank you for listening.
Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like to invite all participants to join us a group photo sections. For delegates who present from Zoom link could activate the Zoom camera, so could we take photo together, please? For the participant here, may I invite you to the floor? Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation and attention. Now, we come to overview of FGD activity. So that the overview of EV integration into biofuel research and development R&D roadmap. The integration of EV into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap, ASEAN Biofuel R&D Roadmap, ASEAN Energy Efficiency and Conservation Measure for Transportation sectors, Bioenergy, Bioeconomy, Climate Resilience in Southeast Asia, Challenge and Opportunity. Conclusions of Section 1 and then coffee break. After that, we close the sections for speaker and ASEAN member state, AMS focal point. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to hand over the floor to Mr. Zhang, Ms. Zhang, Association Research Analysis of Egg to take the floor for being a moderator. Please, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ms. MC. Good morning, Excellencies, Ms. Kama Sofasov, Deputy Director General from Department of Energy Efficiency and Promotions from Ministry of Energy of Mines, Lao PDR, Dr. Sumitra Charorakul, Executive Director from National Energy Technology Center from Thailand, Mr. Christopher Ramora, Senior Managers of ASEAN Center for Energy, and Mr. Mohammed Ewan Misran, Deputy Undersecretary for Renewable Energy, Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change from Malaysia, also on behalf of the RESSN Chair. Distinguished guests, RESSN Popcorns, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to our you again to the first sections of our focus group discussions today, which is an overview of the electric vehicle integrations into biofuel research and development roadmap. My name is Zhang Ngọc Hương Vũ. I'm the Associate Research Analyst of ACE. It's my extreme honors to be here as the moderator of the sections, and I hope in these sections it will give you a comprehensive overview about the current progress of our ongoing study between NSTDA and ACE in the integrations of EV into biofuel roadmap. And you will also know about some key findings on the study on ASEAN Biofuel R&D roadmap and some measurements related to the energy efficiency and conservations for transportation sector. I hope this would lay a foundations for all the participants, either participating online or offline, to understand the prospect of developing EV alongside with the biofuel to decarbonize the transportation sections. And also, I hope the sections will also an important input for the RESSN focal points and distinguished speakers to move on to the upcoming closed sections, where we'll be discuss more in depth about the EV integration study. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Nguyen Cholakup, Director from Low Carbon Energy Research Group from National Energy Technology Center, to deliver his presentations online about the integrations of electric vehicles into ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap. Dr. Nguyen, the floor is yours now.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you clearly here.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. So it's a pity and I cannot join in person. So, but I guess there are a few of our Intech researchers was there. So I apologize the chairperson or the member of the delegate from ASEAN member state. So today I would like to present just a brief overview of what we are doing now, as I think chairperson has mentioned, and also the Chris Moore has mentioned, and also kindly introduced by the MC previously. So this project is actually built upon the the interest and how would the ASEAN member state would view this disruptive technology that's coming into our society and our community, and see how would that affect, what has been done, I think, or what has been spearheaded by the ISSN regarding this biofuel roadmap, as kindly mentioned previously. So next, please. So basically, this is, I think, built upon the collaborative effort. I think this is the last ASEAN meeting that I attended on site. Before the COVID-19, I apologize I could not attend this on-site meeting with everyone in the room now. But I think this is to ensure that our work collaborative with AIDS, assisted voice has been recognized. I think in this AMM, the 37 AMM back in September 2019, and this is focusing on the ASEAN biofuel R&D roadmap. Next, please. So with that, of course, we have done the study, and of course, I would like to acknowledge and also would like to express sincere gratitude to all the ASEAN member state representative, from this ISSN that can finally give us the input despite the hardship of the COVID-19. We, of course, we hold the FGD focus solution online, and trying to mapping, what is the priority and what are the ASEAN member state interest in terms of how to promoting the biofuel, namely, on the ethanol and biodiesel as we are using now today. Of course, there are different in terms of the progress or a level of utilization of this biofuel into the existing energy mix in the transportation, in the power generation. But of course, I think that would not lead us to exclude after the ASEAN, but we would like to try on and see that how can we map out this picture. And I believe that I think later on the researcher will present in detail on this one. So I won't go into detail, and the publication will be coming out very soon. Next, please. So from that ASEAN biofuel roadmap that we have done, of course, we now facing the upcoming, the technology on EV. I think I can assure you that since I remember the first time I tried to introduce the EV concept, at least in Thailand, 7 or 8 years ago, it's still very new. But of course, I think nowadays, as of this moment, I cannot deny that I'm pretty sure that everyone are aware of this integration or this upcoming of the EV. And I think in some of the ASEAN member states in the past few years, but also in the near future, we are actually going to leverage this transition or transformation of the ICE, internal combustion engine vehicle into the EV, no matter what, if you like it. But how can we actually position ourselves in terms of the balancing between the existing ecosystem for the biofuel and the upcoming, technology for this electric vehicle, and many things have to be concerned. Of course, I talked to many of my friends in the ASEAN University, and they are aware of this, and we are would like to use today's focus solution meeting that in order to hear your voice, or to hear what different ASEAN University would like to see in terms of how we integrate this to system. Next, please. So with the EV biofuel, and so what we would like to do is, of course, in this project, we are kindly, and we are also would like to express the sincere gratitude to the Republic of Korea, their partner. So we actually apply for this ASEAN Korea Integration Economic Integration Fund, and this project was granted on the title Strategic Integration of Integration ASEAN Biofuel Roadmap. And that SIA proponent is shared between the NSCDA, NASA, and also the AS. So in NSCDA, we have many research centers. So Dr. Kamanat, Dr. Sumitra, that you heard earlier from the VOTF opening, and also myself are from the National Energy Technology Center. So we are focusing on how we can best utilize our technology and existing ecosystem in order to work on the technology roadmap. The duration is 3 years. So it's now we have completed the first year and we are going to the second year now. And the objective of our overall 3 years basically to establish the policy dialogue, on the EV for such integration of biofuel, integration of EV into the biofuel energy mix. Of course, we would like to focus on the transport sector across the ASEAN member state. And secondly, we would like to conduct the scenario analysis, which I think Dr. Kamat and Mr. Kemrat that will walk you through today, that we would like to propose something that we have been doing that study and doing a scenario to see whether it makes sense to you all. So it's my invitation to kindly get your kindness into commenting on what we have draft so far. And of course, we realize that we cannot do it alone. So we have a very high partnership from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy from the Republic of Korea. And of course, we are reaching out to those electric vehicle association. At the moment, we reach out to Malaysia, to Philippines, Singapore, and of course Thailand. And last but not least, I think we're going to hear from our key expert, who has been my dear friend, who are working in the arena of this International Energy Agency under the implementing agreement on this hybrid and electric vehicle technology development program. Next, please. So with that framework in mind, then we are actually trying to propose many different activity, in different year and expect output. Of course, last year what we did, and of course, I think our researcher will present you is basically the current, electric vehicle landscape in ASEAN. I think everyone knows ASEAN, if you come to ASEAN, but how much and where would be the collective database to show the interest or show the current status of the EV in ASEAN. So we would like to propose this is one of them, and of course we will keep updating it. And second year, this is basically we focus our interest for this today meeting to basically to see how we can strategically integrating, of course electricity or EV into the existing biofuel for transport sector. And next year, we would like to get the action plan for this EV integration. Next, please. And of course, we could not do it alone, and we would like to at least do the cross-check with many of the branches from the ASEAN members. And this is basically a Gantt chart. I won't read to detail, but I think AS has kindly shared this presentation. So we are focusing, this is the timeline and the activity that we plan. And of course, if we look at the timeline for second year, we are now in the phase that we would like to get your feedback on this scenario. Next, please. So with that, I think when we are talking about EV, of course, in detail, the first year we have been developing this database, the information, and some of you may have heard that we presented last IES meeting, of course, online. But then we would like to make sure that those information we gather, is best represent the current status, and of course we would like to have it as a platform that we can share information regarding this EV and the biofuel. Next, please. And for the second year, I don't see the slides moving yet. Okay, for second year, of course, we are now in the current phase of trying to draft the scenario, and of course this is based on the program lead, the long range energy programming, and that would be the one that actually nicely integrated into the AS database system, where we actually synchronizing how this information can be integrated into the ASEAN energy outlook. Our 7 or is going to be the 8th version very soon. So with that, I think I don't want to keep our discussion and also the presentation of our progress. So if I were to end my presentation now, if any general question or comment, so I would like to welcome the comment from all the prospective ASEAN members. Please, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ngong, for your presentations about, I would say, is a recap of our study on the strategic EV integrations into biofuel roadmap. You have also gave to the participants an overview about the study and also catching up on the progress of our study for the first year. So thank you so much for that. And now I would like to invite next is Ms. Monica Medakawati to present the study on ASEAN Biofuel Research and Development Roadmap. Ms. Monica, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Ms. Sangfu, for the kind introduction. Honorable delegates from the RESS and focal points, and distinguished speakers, good morning from Jakarta. Hello, I am Monica Merdekawati, a researcher of Sustainable and Renewable Energy Department of ASEAN Center for Energy. It is such a pleasure for me to be part of this remarkable speakers lineup. I will share the key insights of the ASEAN Biofuel R&D Roadmap, a joint study between ASEAN Center for Energy and National Science and Technology Development of Thailand, or NSTDA, for the next 10 minutes. Allow me to start with briefly introducing the ASEAN Center for Energy to our public participants. ACE is an international organization under the purview of the ASEAN Secretariat that represent the 10 ASEAN member states' interests in the energy sector. ACE has three main roles as a think tank, energy data and knowledge hub, and catalyst. Our main purpose is to support the implementation the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation, or APAC, in achieving the energy security, affordability, accessibility, and sustainability for all. Please do check our latest study on renewable energy development in ACE website. Few studies for your attention are the 7th ASEAN Energy Outlook, the Innovative Solar PV Utilization, Biogas to Electricity Development, and Impact Analysis and Review on Governance of the RE Financing Scheme, and ASEAN Energy Efficiency and Conservation for the Transportation Sector. APAC is the regional blueprint of the energy cooperation in the framework of the ASEAN Economic Community. It has 7 program area or focus as presented here. The primary goal is to enhance the energy connectivity and market integration through higher RE deployment. Despite the current focus group discussion discussing about the potential of EV integration into biofuel roadmap, the output and recommendation of this discussion is expected to contribute in achieving 23% RE share target of total primary energy supply by 2025. ASEAN Biofuel R&D Roadmap was formulated on 2021 and launched in the last year RESSN meeting. However, just until today, we officially launched it publicly. The study is to fulfill energy priorities under the APAC Phase 2. The roadmap serves as a guidance to develop a regional biofuel supply chain through holistic approach and collaborative efforts among member states. Therefore, ASEAN member states can keeping up the pace with the heightened and more ambitious mandates and increasing demand. Along with the working group from the 10 ASEAN member states, we have finalized the biodiesel and bioethanol R&D roadmap. We gathered the information and mapping the regional R&D activity on biofuel, conducted the FGD, and proposed action plans that has been carefully reviewed and approved by the RESSN focal points. Before discussing the roadmap, we will briefly discuss the biofuel policy and feedstock status in ASEAN. As indicated on the left table, 6 member states have defined specific biofuel policies. However, only 5 member states, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, have effective blending mandates. On biodiesel, Indonesia has the highest blending mandates, and Thailand is the most ambitious country on ethanol blending mandate. And additionally, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines and Thailand are the 4 major biofuel producers in the Southeast Asia. From these 4 countries, palm oil, coconut oil, and sugarcane, molasses, and cassava are the major biofuel feedstock in ASEAN. By 2022, CPO feedstock in Indonesia reached 9.5 billion tons for producing 10,300 million liters of biodiesel. In Malaysia, the CPO feedstock reached 1.1 billion tons for 1,150 million liter biodiesel. In the Philippines, the coconut oil production was 228,000 million tons for producing 248 million liter biodiesel. In Thailand, sugarcane production reached 1.5 billion ton, molasses 3.6 billion ton, and cassava 3.3 billion ton, all for the production of 1,460 million liter ethanol. Nevertheless, biofuel production in ASEAN still needs to be increased to help the member countries' current blending targets and most recently, the net zero goals. The identification of biofuel policy and feedstock, we extend the research to the concept of the biofuel supply chain network and technology readiness level. As biofuel advancement has gained a tremendous momentum over the last 2 decades due to the global environmental and health concerns, effective biofuel supply chain management is critical. Left figure depicts the schematic of the advanced biofuel supply chain network. It comprises all activities of the biofuel life cycle from the feedstock production to distribution and involves various ownership entities such as farmers, biorefineries, oil companies, distributors. When planning, the prioritization in the supply chain governs how the system should be modeled and executed. Hence, it requires meticulous consideration as it will affect the overall efficiency of the biofuel development. And on the right figure, the technology readiness level is a way to assess technology suitability for system integration and locate areas where the R&D is crucially needed. It has like a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 denoting particular technology is in the earliest stage, while 10 is already in the commercialization stage. Both the supply chain prioritization and TRL assessment are embedded in the same questionnaires to capture ASEAN member states' aspiration on the need of the biofuel R&D activities. Regarding the prioritization from the questionnaire, it is found that member countries focus on the upstream and lower attention on other supply chain components. Regarding other key success factors such as biofuel feedstock availability, production availability, market size, and currently implemented biofuel policies, these 2 elements provide insightful information on the latest status of several critical factors on biofuel implementation and help us pinpoint strengths and weaknesses of biofuel development in ASEAN. It is identified that ASEAN community shows a great awareness regarding biodiesel and ethanol utilization policy. Scores close to 4 on both graphs show most member states already have targets or mandates in their national plan. The implication is that high policy intervention drives other subsequent factors to grow. Good public acceptance of biofuel utilization for diesel-powered vehicles, gasoline passenger cars, and motorcycles in various pilot projects are also identified. As a result, some governments like the Philippines, Lao PDR, and Indonesia are encouraged to include a more detailed target like vehicle target usage in its plan, whereas in terms of R&D activity, there has been a gap between the R&D and biofuel utilization in Southeast Asia. This may cause the biofuel development to be less sustainable and less effective on the whole supply chain. Another implication of the disparity between utilization and R&D related policy can be seen in the ASEAN's low biofuel technology adoption level. Regarding the TRL, a plentiful biofuel feedstock in ASEAN drives TRL of upstream technology for both biodiesel and ethanol to be more advanced. It is observed that the majority of the upstream technology, especially the extraction, are already in the demonstration stages, where actual technology utilization results can be observed in the broader environment. On the other hand, technology readiness in the midstream shows a very distinct trend between biodiesel and ethanol. A few biodiesel midstream technologies are entering system development as the ethanol version has succeeded in the demonstration. In downstream, similar technology had been used on a lab scale and the associated emission treatment system on vehicles running a minimum B7. Furthermore, with some member states already excelling in the biodiesel development, such as Indonesia, the two technologies are already in their commercial stage, albeit three other downstream technologies, as presented here on the bottom part, are still lagging in the basic research stages. As comparison, this is the ethanol TRL analysis. In particular, most downstream technologies are still in their early stages, with 9 technologies rated as 1.5 from 10. Only engine modification by automotive manufacturers to accommodate the use of anhydrous ethanol rated 3.75, representing the commercialization phase. In the midstream segment, most ethanol technology are still being implemented in a controlled environment. With the findings of the prioritization, key success factors, and TRL, the study further classified the action plans according to the upstream, midstream, and downstream categories and according to the timeline, near, mid, or long term. Near-term action plans aim to promote the technological transfer or best practices within 1 or 2 years. In the midterm, demonstration projects should be carried out to level up technologies to a higher TRL. The technologies with TRL within the range of 5 until 10 and having TRL 9 or 10 in at least a country are considered low-hanging, hence suitable for the near-term implementations. Technologies with TRL within the range of 3 until 5 and having TRL 6 in at least 1 member states are identified for midterm. Long-term action plans are for technologies with an average TRL within the range of 1 until 3 and others that do not meet the criteria of the near and midterm. The study finds that the R&D efforts must be made at all stages of the supply chain for both biodiesel and ethanol from the upstream to downstream to ensure the growth and success of the biofuel industry. Upstream technologies such as feedstock pretreatment, oil crop yield improvement, and are ready for collaboration and deployment with the near-term timeframe of the API Phase 2. These technologies are crucial for increasing the efficiency and yield of oil crops, which is essential for the biodiesel production. In the midstream technologies, the focus on improving the conventional transesterification, upgrading conventional biodiesel to a higher blend, and adding value to byproducts are also ready for immediate collaboration. These technologies have the potential to significantly improve the quality of the biodiesel and increase its market value. And on the downstream technologies related to the emission treatment, need near-term collaboration among the member countries, and its enhancement can be continued during the midterm. These technologies are crucial for reducing the environmental impact of biodiesel and ensuring compliance with the emission standards. This is the bioethanol R&D roadmap, strongly focuses on the improving the efficiency and yield of sugar or starch crop plantation through genetic modification. This focus is narrower than the biodiesel roadmap as the comparison, which targets a broader range of oil crops in its upstream efforts. The bioethanol roadmap focuses on the upstream and downstream processes in the near term. In the midterm, it broadens the focus to cover feedstock development and midstream technologies. In the long term, it focuses on midstream and downstream improvements and developing new feedstocks. I would like to conclude this presentation by highlighting few points. A collective approach is essential step to accelerate biofuel R&D activities in the ASEAN, and this roadmap are proposed to guide the collaborative activities between member states on creating a pathway for technology dissemination and knowledge transfer. And the growing demand from ever-increasing blending mandates, policies, and national implementation targets. So the importance of the biofuel R&D can no longer be ruled out. Extensive R&D activities by respective agencies in the ASEAN will help the region to accelerate the dissemination process and resolve the bottleneck of biofuel utilization in the whole supply chain. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for kind attention, and I look forward to the discussion session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Monica, for the presentations on the ASEAN R&D roadmap. In this, we can see that she has highlighted some of the biofuel policies among the ASEAN member states, and also she pointed out that depending on different geographical characteristics, each country's AMS has different staple products, different biofuel feedstock for productions. And also, she also highlighted that depending on the analysis and the questionnaire we received from the AMS, we have come up with prioritization of the key success factor for biofuel and biodiesel, as well as based on the technology readiness level analysis, we come up with the action plan for mid, near, and long term for both biodiesel and bioethanol. Once again, thank you so much, Ms. Monica, for the presentations. And next, I would like to invite Mr. Ricky Ayaputra, senior officers from APEC Department of ASEAN Center for Energy, to deliver the third presentations of the first sections today about the ASEAN energy efficiency and conservation measures for transportation sector. Mr. Ricky, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Zhang, for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. Today, now I'm pleased to present to you the insights and findings of our recent report on the ASEAN energy efficiency and conservation policies and measures for the transportation sector, which this was developed with the support of the Korea Energy Agency through the ASEAN Cluster Mitigation Cooperation Program. And in these presentations, we will discuss key policies and measures with also there's a special focus on the electric vehicles as well. Next slide, please. So before we begin, it is important to note that the transportation is currently the second highest energy consuming sector in the region, and accounting for 34.7% of the total foreign energy consumption and 72% of the oil demand in 2020, which is revealed by the 7th ASEAN Energy Outlook. And the dependency on oil imports may possess significant environmental and also energy security issues, as ASEAN currently has already been the net oil importer in the region. And next slide, please. And if we deep dive into a specific sub-mode of the transportation, the road transport is the dominant force for this sector, accounting for 94% of the sector's energy consumption in 2020, with the passenger vehicle represent the significant share of the energy demand. And by 2050, the passenger vehicles are expected to claim around 75%, followed by trucks with 39% of the transport energy demand. And if we're looking at these numbers, this also important that we may look at specific measures for this type of vehicles as well. And next slide, please. And to tackle these challenges under the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation Phase 2, 2021-2025, the region are aiming to achieve the 32% energy intensity reduction by 2025 based on 2005 levels, including encouraging the energy efficiency and conservation efforts in the transportation sector. Next slide, please. Now, specifically for the first policies is related to the fuel economic policies, which have been globally proven to be impactful measures to reduce the fuel consumptions, local pollutants, also greenhouse gas emissions. These policies have also catalyzed the vehicle manufacturers to produce newer, more efficient, and also less emitting vehicle technologies worldwide. And the ASEAN also follows suit by adopting the ASEAN Fuel Economy Roadmap 2018-2025, which aims to achieve 5.5 liter gallon equivalent per 100 kilometer by 2025. And while the member states have indicated fuel economy as the key priority, however, in 2015, the region fuel consumption of light-duty vehicles was only 7.3 liter gallon equivalent per 100 kilometer, which this may be a challenging for ASEAN to achieve this target due to the lack of fuel economy policy implementation, which currently none of the member states have adopted the mandatory fuel economy standards, although some countries are offering fuel economy-based incentives and also labeling programs. Next slide, please. And maybe I will not touch deeply into this section where this policy has been covered in the previous presentation by Monica. But one thing that I want to emphasize is that seems that development of biodiesel are more advanced compared to the bioethanol in the ASEAN member states. So this may also impact the development of biodiesel may be impacted with the development of other technologies such as electric vehicle as well. And next slide, please. And now moving on to the fuel switching through the electric vehicle adoption. The member states are heading towards a higher deployment of electric vehicles, where the currently 8 ASEAN member states have announced the electric vehicle target ranging between 2030 to 2050. For instance, Indonesia is targeting to achieve 100% electric vehicle sales by 2050, Thailand by 2035, and also Singapore by 2030. And furthermore, the Indonesia, Malaysia, and Cambodia also have set a target for electric motorcycles as well. And notably that the Singapore is the only country that has set a target to phase out internal combustion engine vehicles by 2040. And next slide, please. And where we are now in terms of the adoption of electric vehicles, we see that the in 2022 specifically, the EV sales are grow rapidly, particularly in Indonesia and Thailand. However, this growth still accounted a fraction of the total vehicle sales, where in 2021, the average EV sales accounted only less than 1% of the vehicle sales in the member states. And even with the existing policies, the 7th ASEAN Energy Outlook is also projected that EV could only reach up to 2.6% by 2025 and also 10.6% by 2050. And next slide, please. Now we are looking at the various incentives and measures that are provided by the government. And the government are provided various consumer targeted incentives to boost the appeal of the EV purchase, where based on the global best practices, such as in China, in Europe, and in other countries, that where the purchase subsidies have been proven effective to increase the deployment of electric vehicle. But so far, only Thailand has adopted this kind of measures, while Indonesia has also announced to provide such subsidies for two-wheelers. And majority of the member states are providing tax-related incentives, such as exemptions, allowance, or rebates. And also for the car manufacturing countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Philippines have implemented also incentives to encourage the EV production, including through financial fiscal incentive support. And also there's other non-fiscal incentives that are provided by the government. For instance, the governments are lead by example by mandating the government officials to utilize or to deploy electric vehicles as their official fleets. Thus, this also stimulating the market through the book procurement as well. And then there is also like a privileges incentives where the EV users are exempted from, for instance, like a free parking, a dedicated free parking slots, and even exempted from any road regulations or any like tax exemptions and for the vehicles as well. And next slide, please. And then also another issues related to the EV adoption is related to range anxiety, where the governments have also set up EV charging infrastructure targets, but we see there currently the progress also remain limited. But the several measures and policies are also has been implemented, such as there are several technical and safety standards for the charging stations. There are also financial support, direct financial support to deploy the electric vehicle charging stations, and also there are various mandatory obligations for the commercial or public facilities to install the charging infrastructures in their respective facilities. And next slide, please. While for the fuel economy and fuel switching are also vital components in the energy efficiency and conservation, these policies alone may not be able to fully decarbonize and reduce the energy consumption in the transportation sector. And the policies on mass transportations could be one of the options to significantly reduce the energy consumption in the transportation sector, where the 2% annual increase in the share of public buses could reduce the petrol and also diesel usage up to 72% and 59% based on the 7th ASEAN Energy Outlook. And to also encourage this switching, the major cities in the member states have set up measures to improving the transport system efficiencies, and mainly based on the avoid, shift, and improve approach. And this includes the implementation of congestion reduction policies, such as place restrictions or congestion taxes in Jakarta and also Singapore. And then the cities such as Jakarta, Bangkok, Singapore are utilizing mass rapid transit or transport, such as MRT, light rapid transit and also bus rapid transit as well. And even some cities are also piloting the utilization of electric buses as well. And last but not least is also the measures to encourage the active mobility are also put in place, which involve the development of sustainable infrastructures to promote efficiency and sustainability through, like, for instance, dedicated bike and also or also pedestrian lines as well. And next slide, please. So this is to conclude my presentation in relation to the integration of electric vehicle to biofuel roadmap. I think there are two items that are relevant from this study that may want to be considered. First is to looking at the integration based on the applicability and also technology readiness from the different transport segment. For instance, the biofuel might be suitable for the heavy duty vehicles or even aviation, where the electrification are more challenging due to range, weight, and also refueling time constraint, while electric vehicle may well suited for the light duty vehicle and also short distance urban transit like buses as well. And second, while also biofuel market are much more mature compared to the electric vehicle in the ASEAN region, biofuel may also act as a bridging fuel and intermediate solutions to reduce the oil consumption, while the EV market and infrastructure will also continue to maturing. This is also to consider the plans of the governments to have a various electric vehicle target and also internal combustion engine phase out target as well. And yeah, that's conclude my presentation. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, and back to you, Zhang.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ricky, for your presentations on the EE&C measures for transportation sector. So before I go to the summarize and the conclusions of section 1, I would like to ask all the RESSN focal points here, all the external partners here, if you have any questions regarding the presentations for 3 speakers. Also, in the virtual platform, I will also open for questions from online participants. Okay, if there's no questions, I would like to quickly summarize the 3 presentations of 3 of our speakers today. The first, in the first sections, in the first presentations, Dr. Nguyen, he has to present the update of the ongoing study on strategic EV integrations into biofuel roadmap. As you can see, we have made 1/3 of the projects. We have completed the first year, and right now we are going on the second and the third year of your projects. Next, in the next presentations from Ms. Monica, she has presented some key findings regarding the R&D biofuel activities in ASEAN, and she's also highlight the importance of energies or bioenergies or biofuel in particular in the energy security in ASEAN, and to achieve the aspirational targets under APEC Phase 2. And also in the presentations of Mr. Ricky, he has emphasized on the contributions of the transportation sector to in the energy field by being the second largest consumer, while this sector is still heavily rely on fossil fuels. So therefore, the fuel switching movement and electrifications in the transportation sector is critical, and it has been witnessed by the effort made by several ASEAN member states in terms of establishing blending biofuel mandates or like providing attractive incentives to encourage further use of electric vehicles and also encourage the manufacturing of EV in the nations whose manufactures these vehicles. And he also, in the recommendation sections, he also pressed that to push forward the decarbonizations in the transportation sector. We should apply different vehicle segments, and as I mentioned about like linking to the presentations of Ms. Monica and also the current study of strategic EV integrations into biofuel roadmap presented by Dr. Nguyen. He also stressed out the integrations of other low carbon transportations like biofuels run vehicles could be essentials for us to diversify the energy source in the transportation sector. So we can see that these three presentations are linked to each other, and it's highly highlight that the strategic EV integrations into biofuel roadmap studies is timely enough to identify the needed actions and pipeline for the ASEAN member state in the EV and biofuel uptake in the transportation sector in the region. So therefore, in the upcoming sections, and we will have the next several roundtable discussions, and therefore we would love to hear from all of you, like IESSN focal points, EESC focal points, and also other external partners to provide your opinion and valuable inputs that could positively contribute to the upcoming outputs of the projects in the second and the third year. So that is the end of my conclusions for section 1. Thank you so much for your listening and participations. I would like to give back the floor to the MC. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator and speakers. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a coffee break for 10 minutes. We come back for the next section. And the next sections will be a closed session for the speakers and ASEAN member state focal point. Thank you.